Hi, my name is Bram. I'm the co-founder of 3D Hubs, and 3D Hubs is the world's largest online marketplace for 3D printing services. We've connected 6,000 companies through our marketplace that basically offer 3D printed parts as a service. So you've probably all heard about 3D printing by now, and may have wondered, is this just hype or is it real? Yeah, I skipped this slide, but here you see the network of all the 3D print providers. So 6,000 providers in 160 countries. So to better answer the question, is this just hype or is it real? It's good to look back on how manufacturing has evolved over the last few centuries. This is what manufacturing looked like 200 years ago. Products were made by hand, which is not very scalable. At the same time, production was also very local and on demand. So there was hardly any inventory or long-distance transportation. So then we got the industrial revolutions, which led to automation and centralization because of economies of scale. And eventually, most of this production we've moved to Asia because the labor costs are lower there. So there are definitely benefits about this centralized mass manufacturing model, but also a few major downsides. So first of all, you get a lot of the same products. Just compare an IKEA store to the carpenter on my previous slide. And then secondly, there's a lot of waste transporting all of these products from Asia to the consumers all around the world. And then finally, in this centralized manufacturing model, we've created around $2 trillion in inventory, which is more than the GDP of Canada. And an estimated 30% of this has to be thrown away because nobody wanted to buy it. So the great thing about 3D printing is that it's combining the best of both worlds. Just like in the days of craftsmanship, each product is tailor-made and production is local and on demand. And these machines are computer controlled, so it's really a highly automated and scalable process. So who are the users of 3D printing today? So there's been a lot of hype centered around consumer 3D printing, but about 90% of the market are engineering applications. And at 3D Hubs, we serve hundreds of thousands of engineers. They use our self-service platform to get prototypes and industrial parts made. They do that by uploading their CAD files, then selecting the material that they want to print in, and then the facility, the provider that they want to order with. And on each of these orders, we take a 12.5% commission. So this is a short video showing the ordering process. So first, the CAD files are being uploaded. Then we perform all kinds of analysis on the files to calculate the instant price for each of the local providers. And we also analyze the manufacturability of that particular design for different 3D printing processes. So this is really unique in the market, and this helps customers select the right 3D printing process for their design. Then the second step is selecting the material. You can print not only in many plastics, but also metals and rubber-like materials. Over the last few years, dozens of new materials have been developed for 3D printing. And then the final step is selecting the provider. So we provide all kinds of sorting and filtering options for customers to find a provider that meets their budget, lead time, or quality requirements. So the main use case that we see today is prototyping, and this is an $8 billion market. This is a lot larger than most people would expect, but in product development, engineers can go through dozens of iterations throughout the ideation, design, engineering, and validation stages. And so we help engineers getting their products to market earlier than their competitors. We do that by providing a prototyping service that is about 7 times faster than that of centralized 3D print providers. This is because, first of all, we have 6,000 manufacturing facilities in the network. This means that we always have instant capacity available. Secondly, we typically produce on smaller machines that have shorter production cycles, as we've really never optimized for centralized scale. And then finally, with such a large distributed network, around half of our orders can be locally delivered the same day. So thanks to this unique selling point, our customers have ordered 1 million parts since we started 3D Hubs in 2013. It took us 40 months to get to the first 500,000, and only 10 months to get to the second 500,000. And as the network grows, our service becomes faster and more reliable, and customers start trusting us with more of their projects. And this is reflected by the lifetime value already increasing by 60% this year. So the prototyping market shows a lot of promise still, but the real big opportunity is in the production of actual end parts. And we're seeing some really exciting developments happening there. Stryker is investing $350 million in the production of titanium implants, such as hip implants. About 100,000 implants have already been installed in patients, and the survival rate is twice as high as the 3D printed lattice structure grows much better into the bone. And then GE is investing $3.5 billion in the production of titanium 3D printed airplane parts, such as fuel nozzles and interior brackets. And so thanks to the design freedom of 3D printing, they can save up to 55% weight compared to traditional manufacturing. And a lot of these big industrial companies are already using 3D hubs for their prototyping, and this really puts us in a solid position as they expand into end parts. And we're already starting to see more orders for end parts. This is reflected by the average number of parts per order already tripling in the last few years. And to better serve the need for end parts, we're adding more computer-controlled manufacturing technologies, such as CNC machining, which is also used to produce the cases of the MacBooks. And this is a very promising expansion, as the average order value for CNC is 20 times higher than for 3D printing. So for example, a customer ordered this aluminium box for 8,000 euros and is planning to order 15 more of them. So let's have a look at the machine developments that are enabling this transition from prototyping to actual end parts. So the three main challenges for 3D printing have traditionally been the low production speeds, the high production costs, and the limited number of materials available. But this is all being resolved by new machine developers that have come up with radical innovations. So one of them is Carbon, that has raised over $200 million for a new 3D printing process that is 50 times faster. And they already started shipping their first machines. And then HP also started shipping their first 3D printers last summer. They have a $60 million annual R&D budget to make 3D printing cost competitive with traditional manufacturing. And then there's Desktop Metal that has raised $200 million to make metal parts more affordable and more accessible. So all of these machine developments are very exciting, but customers, of course, really care about the parts that they produce. And 3D Hubs is the fastest online parts provider and often the first to offer these amazing capabilities. Our investors include Boulderton Capital, EQT Ventures, and Arthur Kosten, who's co-founder of Booking.com. And they've invested $12 million on the shared vision that the winning online parts provider is going to be a lot bigger than the actual machine makers. Thank you.